Last 1 year plus, we have been receiving these questions. Initially, people were very worried, those who had bariatric surgery, that are they at higher risk of getting COVID, because a lot of misinformation was there about immunity status of bariatric patients and others. Then people started talking about whether they need to take extra supplements. Everybody started taking two times the vitamins and zinc and all those things. And then some of us who had COVID, people started asking. They would call up that my wife has got COVID and she had a bariatric surgery, and what medicine should be given extra during the treatment. And then a lot of questions about whether we should stay at home or whether we should go in the hospital for treatment. And now, of course, people are asking vaccination, should we take it or should we not take it? And then one important thing that I have added is the long-term consequences of COVID, because this is mostly not discussed in media, and I thought I'll discuss this. So very recently, Cleveland Clinic has done a research which shows that those who do bariatric surgery, those who have done bariatric surgery in past, it reduces severity of COVID-19 in those patients. And this is very important to, because there were some small studies before, but this is the first major study which has come from Cleveland Clinic USA. And what they have shown is that those who had bariatric surgery, only 18% of them required hospital stay versus 42% of those who have not had surgery. Those were non-bariatric patients. And those who are non-bariatric patients, 13% of them required ICU stay, 7% required ventilation, and 2.4% of them died, unfortunately. But it did not happen in any of these bariatric patients. So that means they did not require ICU, they did not require ventilation, and none of those patients who were in this research study after bariatric surgery died. So the author of this study from Cleveland Clinic has said that patients after bariatric surgery become significantly healthier and can fight the virus better. So whether your family physician or your physician or any neighbor or any family member tells you that because you are a bariatric patient, you are at a higher risk, or you should get vaccine faster. I'm even getting calls from patients that is it a comorbidity and can I get a vaccine earlier? Now that is all not correct, because and if anything, this reduces the risk of you getting COVID or severe COVID. So let's move on. Then about whether you need extra supplements to prevent COVID. Now we don't have any answer, even though COVID is there for now more than 1 year. But there are a few studies which have shown that this is in general, that people need more vitamin A and D, which is which has some potential benefit in reducing the COVID infections. But this benefit is seen if you have deficiency of vitamin A and D. Now, all our patients are monitored. I know some of you do not follow up or do not take the supplement, but ideally you should be taking. So if you are taking a supplement, vitamin A and D cannot be deficient, because we get it done every year, especially vitamin D. Then there are few studies which shows that if you zinc and selenium may have favorable effect in terms of prevention of COVID. So this is one. And then there are some studies which says that if you take nutraceuticals and probiotics like curd and other things, it improves immunity function, and micronutrients are beneficial in nutritionally depleted elderly population. Now, all these which is done in COVID population are standard part of standard supplements. These are not something that we have to change during the COVID times. So ideally, if you are taking bariatric supplements regularly, you don't need to worry about taking any extra vitamin or mineral or zinc or selenium, because these are part of standard protocol that we have. So one thing is that you are not at high risk. Second thing is you don't need to take any extra supplements to prevent COVID-19. So in a way, our bariatric patients are more safe compared to the general population, as long as they are taking the bariatric supplements. Now, third question that was in our mind was that if unfortunately one of you get COVID, do you need to take any extra medicines, or do you require any extra precaution during the treatment, either at home or in hospital? So first thing is, all that I'm going to talk in next four lines. First thing is, most of the procedures done by us are either sleeve or Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. They are not malabsorptive procedures. So there is no extra precaution required. 99.9% of you are either sleeve or Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. Extra precautions that are mentioned are for patients who have malabsorption. So there are very few patients where we do a mini gastric bypass which has malabsorptive component. Now, if there is a malabsorption, then you need higher dose. If somebody is given tablets of during the hospital stay, they need higher dose of those tablets. They also need, so they can take liquid drugs instead of tablets because they are absorbed better, or they can take intravenous injections. So if you have a mini gastric bypass, then it's a good idea that you let your physician know that this is what we have told you, and you can accordingly modify. If your physician tells you this is only for mini gastric bypass patient, let me be very clear. So if patient tells you that you require azithromycin as treatment of, then they need to increase your dose by one third. So whatever is the dose of azithromycin, if it's 500 milligram, you need to make it to about 625 milligram to get the same result. If they tell you to give take zinc, then you should be given either zinc through injections, or they should be given in split dose so that the absorption is better. Now, uh, if you can take a snap of this slide. This is the American guidelines, that the last one that I have highlighted for for these malabsorptive procedures. So in case you have a mini gastric bypass and you get bariatric COVID-19, then please give your physician this link and let them go through this link so they understand that your requirement is different. But again, for sleeve and Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, this is not required. Now, an important question is whether you should be treated at home or you should be treated in hospital. Now, unfortunately, what I have found is that there is a lot of confusion about it. And I have discussed it with very serious senior chest physicians. And the home treatment was introduced at a time when there was a shortage of hospital beds. Home treatment is not a standard of care. COVID as a disease is a serious illness, and you should take it seriously. And if you can afford it, it is preferable to get treated in a hospital, because it is considered a novel virus. It is the only novel virus which enters lining of blood cells, irrespective of whether you are seriously ill or you are asymptomatic. Everybody knows these wordings now. So these can enter the lining of your blood cells, and then the blood cells are there in lungs, in brain, in kidneys. So first thing you realize is that COVID is a serious virus. It's not something to be taken lightly. When home treatment was advised, it was said that this is a hospital care at home. This was not avoidance of hospital care. It was said that you should get a kind of hospital care at home, a serious care at home. And it was only done because there were too many patients in Italy, in cities like Mumbai and Delhi and New York, and so that you can, some of those who are not very serious can be managed at home. but they were to be managed by physicians, not by your family members or neighbors. Now, to add to it, the Mumbai experience, in Mumbai, a few senior physicians have found that if antiviral treatment is given early, like let's say remdesivir is given early, even in asymptomatic patients, it prevents serious diseases later. So many of us, many of the doctors who are having COVID-19, even if they have minor disease, they get admitted in hospital, they take full course of remdesivir, even though it looks very funny, but at the end they avoid a serious disease later. And then the last and very important thing is there are few high risk markers. So one can check through these high risk markers. These are mostly blood tests. And they can be taken so that long term related problem of COVID can be avoided. So because these markers can be raised even in mild patients. So even if you have very little symptoms, you just had little cough for a day or a fever for a day and your COVID-19 has come and you think, why should I go to hospital? I'm not saying you go to hospital, but get treated by a good physician so that these markers can be tested at home and they can give you medicines so that you don't have long-term problem. I'll talk about it. So friends, treatment at home should be seriously taken even in asymptomatic and mild disease patients. Do not say that I don't need to go to hospital. My fever was only for one day and I can manage myself at home even if COVID-19 is positive. Now comes the current question, COVID vaccination. I think we have been waiting for 1 year. It is essential that we go back to normal situation. This is not normal life that we are leading, where we are wearing mask every day, and we are so the masks and the social distancing can only go away after a good percentage of the population is vaccinated. Let's say 70% of the population. So it's essential to establish normalcy. There is no major reason to refuse or delay. If there is a reason, let the doctor at the vaccination center say that you should not have it. Don't decide on your own. You should go and get vaccine for vaccination. There are very very limited reasons to refuse a vaccine. Almost 100% protection is provided by all vaccines against severe disease. So do not go by 65%, 80%, 90%, all those figures that are rolled out with against different vaccines. All vaccines give 100% protection against severe disease. So at least the person will not die, or at least the person may not go in ICU if he has taken both the dosage. So please take it. And I agree, we have limited knowledge for protection, whether it will prevent cross infection, whether it will work against variants, and for how long the vaccine will work. But that will come in due course. First thing is we should reach there. Those people whom we lost in last April and May, uh, we lost them. They are not even discussing this. So if they had vaccine at that time, they would have probably survived up till now. So please take vaccine because COVID is not going away, and it can protect you for next 1 year, 6 months, whatever it is. And by the time more knowledge will come, and you can be better treated if somebody gets a COVID. Now, these are American guidelines that when adequate number of people will get vaccinated, then all those who are vaccinated can meet within a room without mask or social distancing. They can meet other people from a single family to meet. And if you are exposed means if you have come in contact with somebody who had a COVID and you are asymptomatic, you don't need to undergo testing and quarantine. No, this is phenomenal because this is like if I am fully vaccinated as a doctor and I sit in my consulting room and somebody comes with a COVID-19, I don't need to get myself tested, which is the requirement today. But they must continue to wear mask. They must avoid large gatherings. They should get tested if symptomatic, and travel requirements are still there. We don't know whether travel requirements will change, whether vaccine status will give a vaccine passport kind of situation. But that doesn't mean that you should not take vaccine. I mean, if this happens, we'll be very happy. But if it doesn't happen, let it be. Now, I think the most important part that I wanted you to hear from me today is why COVID should be avoided. You know, a lot of people say, three of my friends had COVID, they all recovered, they are all meeting now, they have parties alternate day at home or in outside, and they are not taking it seriously. But what you need to realize is that almost 75 to 80% of those who have COVID may continue to have symptoms even 2 to 3 months later. And these are serious symptoms, these are not mild symptoms. The chances of having long-term symptoms does not seem to be linked to how ill you are when you got COVID. So these symptoms, long-term effects of COVID, are not only in those who are seriously ill initially, even those who are mildly ill, 33% of them will have symptoms up to 3 months. So COVID is not a issue of that you are, whether you required ICU, whether you are serious, whether you had mild symptoms. Even if you have mild symptom, 33%, which is a huge number, will continue to have problems even after 3 months. So there is only one way to avoid it is to avoid getting COVID. And that is why this is important, because even if you take vaccine and you have mild symptoms, you can have long COVID issues. So this is important for everybody to listen and follow, that COVID has to be avoided. There is no avoiding the mask. And what are these long COVID symptoms? Long COVID means what happens in long terms after COVID. Extreme fatigue. The person can be so tired that you work for 2 hours and then you are so tired you cannot work for next 24 hours. One can have shortness of breath or chest tightness. There can be problems with memory and concentration. There's a word called brain fog. You may feel everything is foggy. Person may lose sleep, person may have palpitation, person may have depression, anxiety. There are many more. I have just put few important ones that you should know. So all of us who are working people, it's important that we should not end up getting such symptoms after COVID. And the only way that we can avoid these symptoms do not go away by treatment. These symptoms can only go away if you do not have COVID initially. So please take care of this. It's time to think rationally and behave responsibly. There's a lot of discussion going on in media that people are not following the guidelines and all that. That is all fine. I mean, people are also tired, but it is not the time to become irresponsible. Everybody should protect themselves, and that is the key of avoiding a problem in long run. So